This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1136, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang. And joining me from Loverland, Virginia, on his AirPods for the third show in a row, is Jesse Carey.
Hello. In fairness, listen, I don't know I got a plague going through my house right now. Okay. I can't get back to the studio. Did I not text you bright and early this morning? I said, Cameron, look, man. Yeah. I said, if this audio quality is a problem, we can give me an hour later than normal.
It's not for me. It's the dear listener that you should be asking.
Well, dear listeners, I'm sorry. I promise next time. I was planning on being in the studio today. I offered to do this all later. But the show must go on, and it will not happen anymore. I will be, and I'm buying another setup.
No, don't say that. Don't say that, because you'll say it won't happen anymore.
We're going to start a GoFundMe. We're going to send a professional mic to Jesse's house.
I already have. Listen, it's already in the works. This is not happening again. I already have stuff being sent here. So thank you for the patience.
This man, Jesse, sound like he recording through an Autobot.
Fauci or whoever.
Live from Afghanistan, our correspondent from the front lines.
Listen, when you're locked away for weeks at a time, it's hard to get to, it's going to be addressed. I apologize.
Bro, hey, stop recording the podcast through a Super Nintendo remote control, bro. Like,
he's recording through the Wii. He's got the Wii. People take cameras and
this
stuff.
This is how
desperate
and stuff. The situation is. I'm recording this podcast via my Samsung smart refrigerator right now.
My God. That's funny.
I'm talking into the ice maker.
By the way, we're low on lettuce. All right. From Nashville, it's artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What up, though?
And in LA, it's, from Social Club Misfits and Fatherhood, it's Marty.
What up?
Hey, before we get going, Marty, last night I finished Fargo season 5 at your recommendation.
Oh, man.
That is among the best television I've ever experienced in my life.
It might be in the layer of category of I know it's crazy to say, but certain seasons of Sopranos, certain seasons of The Wire. It was such a good. This season is that good. It's that good.
Whoa.
And it's a true
story.
story.
You said on the level with The Wire? That's crazy.
Wire's one of my favorite shows.
On the level with The Wire,
I have it on box set. I'm telling you, I love it.
Me too. It's literally my favorite show of all time. I have the box set. Anyway, hold on. But seriously, take the best seasons of Breaking Bad, the best seasons of The Sopranos and The Wire, and it is right there.
Yeah, it's pretty
at
good.
The peak tier. I saw Stephen King tweet 2 days ago, whoever said peak TV is over has not watched Fargo season 5. This is among the best things I've ever seen in my life, he said.
I'm trying to tell everybody. I was off a commercial. I saw it off a commercial, and I was like, I love the movie, the original movie, and I was like, off a commercial, I'm gonna see it. And the problem with what I did was I saw it in the premiere, and I had to wait every single week and it was good.
I binged it.
And let me tell you something.
I watched it in 3 days.
Juno, amazing actress. John Hamm, amazing actress. I forgot the actor. What's his name?
John Hamm is crazy.
Yeah,
Dave Foley is in there in a dramatic role. Jennifer Jason Leigh plays a billionaire.
Jennifer Jason Leigh is amazing. My God,
they're incredible.
Chef's kiss.
That creepy the ancient guy. I've never seen him before. He stuck with me, dude. I was thinking about him. Dude, you know how The Wire introduced Omar and people that they're characters that stay with you.
Disruptors.
This has it. This has that. I'm telling you, you don't want as good as Keeley from Ted Lasso and as good as John Hamm is. It's these other. Oh my gosh, guys, you gotta watch it.
I hope that they win some Golden Globes. I mean, it was that good. I hope they win some Golden Globes.
Hey, this is going to be a good month for TV. I mean, Curb is coming back for its final season. I saw a list recently. February is going to be like Abbott Elementary is finally coming back after the strike. All these shows after the strike are hitting in February, so this is going to be a good month for television.
Great month.
All right, question. Go ahead, Jesse.
I real quick, I want to address one thing that was said that I feel like got breezed past. You and Marty both own box sets of The Wire. I'm assuming the format is DVD.
Yes, 100%. And Sopranos, by the way.
Okay.
It's because I loved it so much prior to streaming. I had to own it. You know what I mean? It was like a 2008 purchase.
Yeah. But yet you still own it, and you own it with a source of pride.
Yes.
Do you? Because I was in a position recently where somebody had it, and they were
it's like why I have certain books on my bookshelf. It's like I read it, and I loved it, and I kept it.
But here's the thing: like, you still have eyeballs that can read the book, right? Like, you can take that on an airplane. Someone brought a DVD to my house one day. It's like, hey man, we got it. It was something that was like an old family recording. They're like, can we fire this up? I had no device that would just play a regular DVD.
I saw my PS3.
I literally had to go dig up like an old Xbox.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I was like, I don't know what we're gonna play this on, and it was a whole thing. You know, I'm behind the TV with the HDMI wire. What are we doing with the box sets, guys? Because I understand your point about the book.
It's true.
You know, because
First
you can pull the book off the shelf or sit by the pool. Where are you watching these?
My PS5 has one.
That's it. Cohen's gaming devices.
I have the digital download too. That's how much I like it. I even bought it on right now. Sopranos $30. The complete season is on iTunes on sale because of 25-year anniversary. So I'm the type of person I do like to buy digital. I'm the type of person where I like to watch a weird movie randomly. Like randomly, I'm going to watch The Game with Michael Douglas like on a Wednesday night because I have no idea. Movie. It's going to happen, you know?
I mean, I'm the same way with music. I have a huge vinyl collection.
Yeah.
I have cassettes. I have a stack of cassettes right there with a Walkman. I'm that way too. I love this. I want to have it in multiple forms.
But in this situation, Marty, where just one night you decide to throw on the Michael Douglas classic, The Game.
Yeah.
And you're making it sound as if you purchased this digital download. Do you have like a folder somewhere on like an old PC that's like digital old Michael Douglas films right here?
Michael Douglas films, bro.
I do actually.
Do you have a folder? Have a folder?
I have I still have all my DVDs, believe it or not, in our attic. We were going through it the other day because I was like, you know, if you bought a DVD back in the day, you really like that movie, you know, especially if you kept it.
You moved boxes of DVDs from Florida to California and then shoved it in the attic.
With 3 versions of The Dark Knight. For some reason, I bought it, my wife bought it, and we didn't know each other when we bought it. And somehow there's a third. I don't know how. Like, I have 3 versions of this, and then 4 copies of Shrek. I don't know what's going on.
Marty, I know you're the type of listen, I'm about to like if we were to rewind 15 years and you go to Marty's house or his room or his apartment or his dorm or whatever. Yeah. He's got the tower.
I'm not that old, man.
He's got that curvy DVD tower, and right up top is Matrix Deluxe version. Like that was any DVD person.
The reloaded.
Like, right at the top of the stack was like, yo, I got a lot of choices.
Whatever was the coolest cover was on top. You know that, right? Like
on top is Matrix. Yeah. And then
the Hunt for Red October was right under that. And then right under that is, you know.
Okay. Did anyone have like a DVD owning friend, right? And then, because I had somebody who was heavy into DVDs and then Blu-rays and had the whole hardware collection. And he had an apartment, right? And it was like a shared apartment with other dudes. So, of course, in those, like when you're living with roommates or whatever, you put the dope sound system and the dope TV in your bedroom, not out in the common area, right? So, like, he was like, hey, man, I got the extended cut Matrix Reloaded Blu-ray. You want to come over and watch it? Sure. That sounds great. You know, I got a surround sound. It's in his bedroom, not in the common area.
Wow.
What do you do? Crawl under the covers?
That's strong.
That's what I'm saying. That was the dilemma. Did he have a couch in his room, or you guys sat on the bed? I think he sat on the bed. I think I pulled in a kitchen chair.
I think you have to start thinking these things out real quick.
Exactly. That's my point. That's the problem with that whole setup.
Pause this whole situation.
I think I grabbed a kitchen chair.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. We didn't have. I didn't have a CD tower. I just had the book, like the CD book or the DVD books, like just like the DVD, like I just.
I like looking through them. Like, yeah, I love that too. I love looking through it.
The whole tower was crazy. My grandmother was the VHS dub lady, so she had like the big cabinets where you open the cabinet.
Oh, I love that.
And it's just like tapes for days, and then tapes on the side. She had like, bro. We used to dub tapes all the time, but I didn't do the towers.
I lived across the street from a Blockbuster, like in the early 2000s.
Lucky.
And like you could literally just go over there like on Saturdays, and they would like, push out, make room for the new inventory. Yeah. So they had a bin that Blu-rays were like 2 for $8.
I love that
$2 for
bin.
$8.
Oh. Yeah.
And like and it was like all the new stuff, like just a few months after like peak interest. And so I acquired so many. I don't know where any of them are right now. Like I don't know. Man. I don't remember getting rid of them. I don't remember like where are they? I have no clue. But anyway,
Blockbuster would buy like for a new release like 20 of the same movie, and then they're like, "Hey, we're only gonna have 2 now." For the rest of the year.
We'll sell 18 of them for $4.
That's how I bought The Hot Chick. Remember that with it was with like Rob Schneider or something like that. Like I bought that movie. I bought like 4 Rob Schneider movies and like 2 Adam Sandler movies. It was always in the bin. It was just always in the bin.
I low key wish we had less options so that we could enjoy the movies like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're all watching the same movies.
They do. If you have Tubi, you're very limited. Very limited.
But I've thought about, Derek, it's funny. I've thought about that like a streaming service where it's like they only have 3 movies on at a time because and it's like curated to a degree, but sometimes it's just popcorn stuff because that was the beauty back in the day of going to Blockbuster. It was it was like new releases. It was like, dude, what do you want to watch tonight? One of the hundreds of classic films of the last 20 years that they have organized in, or do you want to watch one of the 50 copies of Michael Douglas's The Game that is lining that wall because it came out 4 hours ago? And it's like, I miss those days.
My wife loves commercials, so she loves watching movies on like regular cable. Like Peacock has a fake TV version where they have like a fake TV, like a TV guide where you can go through channels and see your favorite shows, but it's like on, you don't get to choose. So my wife loves that. She loves it. She loves the commercials. I'm like, we pay for no commercials, but something gives her comfort about watching a movie and having it split up with commercials. I don't know, but
cable is about to roar back.
I'm about to say it'll be coming back. It'll be coming back. I want to see King of Queens back to back with ridiculousness.
I got one more. I know we got to move on, but I do like the King of Queens ridiculousness. So when you're just flipping through, it's like I stumbled upon a.
I can always watch it.
Yeah, where Spence learns to play shuffleboard in the subway. It's a great one. Let's buckle up. Wasn't planning on spending the afternoon doing this, but
King of Queens is one of the old comedies that actually holds.
It's a great show. It's still great.
It's still great. Yeah.
Even Everybody Loves Raymond still holds up well.
It does.
There's a lot of really good. Yeah, there's a lot of great.
I gotta watch those. I've not seen one episode of either of them.
You'll be like, dude, this is my life if I was white. You just be like, this is all like white people problems.
No, he's got his best friend is black, Deacon.
Yeah, but like Kevin I'm saying like Kevin is like the classic like white guy that is just like I don't explain it, but it's just like funny. It's like he lives with his dad. You know what I'm saying? Like his father-in-law's there. He's got like a wife that's way too pretty for him. It's like this like classic sitcom of like the white dad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like a Disney Channel.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah, like the wife is way too hot for the guy. And he's like kind of like a sloppy mess, but we love him because he's funny. Like that type of humor, I love it. It's like the best.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is like the whole construct of that was like we're gonna have like each episode is gonna be about a really bad marriage fight that in real life would be terrible, but somehow when I'm watching them do it, it's funny.
It's funny.
You know what I mean? Like no spouse would talk to each other like these sitcom characters. Yeah. You just insult each other for a half hour, and they had this great marriage. And the whole episode I watched. The husband tried to deceive the wife with the help of his friends. And that was the plot of the entire episode.
He was just trying to lie to his wife about eating like an extra sub, like an extra salami sub. And he didn't want her to know, so he ate it in the bathroom. Like that's the episode. It's weird.
Yeah, where in real life, if your wife is like, did you lie to me about that sub? Like, no, I didn't have the sub. It's like, I see the wrapper in the bathroom. Like, this is a problem. Like, we're going to bring this up.
Olive oil and vinegar. What are you doing,
Jesse, did you ever see it was on FX. It's exactly what you're talking about. It was a comedy drama that kind of showed the ridiculousness of that era of sitcom that like, this is like, these people have problems, right? It was called Kevin Can F Himself.
Okay.
And it was the daughter from Schitt's Creek
I gotta see this.
She plays the pretty wife, and she has a big schlubby blue collar overweight husband.
Where's the son?
It was on FX in 2022. It's a couple years old.
I would love to see it.
Okay. And so what they do is they split between two shows. So when, the father-in-law and the schlubby husband are there, she comes in. It's like a 3-camera studio audience sitcom vibe. And then she, and he does his stupid buffoonery, and she leaves the room, and the camera follows her, and it cuts to a gritty, dark, like drama of her dealing with the real emotional toll, the real, the real life kind of impact of if she was being treated like that, or he was doing this idiot thing with their money. And it splits between laugh track and like gritty dark.
Oh,
it was fascinating.
It was really What's it called again? Don't give an F.
Kevin can F himself. K. Yeah. It was on AMC.
All right, guys. So, side note, since we're talking about stuff that's like, it's crazy, but I don't know how to explain it. But the song that takes the cake and is a perfect example of this is a very fun song. If you like pina colada, that song is so messed up.
How could you ever trust them again?
Why is it messed up?
As big as it is.
Why is it messed up?
Because it's about two people cheating on each other.
Wait, what?
The entire premise is personal ads. They are in a relationship. They are both reaching out via personal ads to try and have an affair on the other person. They end up having pen pal. Do you like pina coladas? Do you like walking in the rain? Da, da, da. They get together, realize it's themselves, and they fall back in love. I'm like, I would have permanent trust issues. A spouse that was actively trying to cheat on me.
That's insane.
It's a weird. Listen to the lyrics. It is insane. Yeah.
It's the craziest song I've ever heard.
What other songs are like that? I'm trying to think. I was listening to the Mariah Carey.
Pumped Up Kicks by it's dark.
What song is that? You said Pumped Up Kids?
Yeah. All the other kids with the Pumped Up Kicks.
It's about a school shooting.
This one, and I know I talked about this back in the day, but 5 O'Clock Somewhere with Alan Jackson and Jimmy Buffett is the people in that. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
These people have a real drinking problem. This isn't just fun. Okay.
This is real life.
This is okay. Can I read a couple lyrics?
Please, bro. Okay. Please.
Getting paid by the hour, older by the minute. My boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just call it a day. Pour me something tall and strong. Make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. Like, this is someone leaving the job and just getting loaded during the middle of the day. This is the premise of the song.
Back in the Mad Men era, they had 3 martini lunches and stuff,
Okay, then they make light of a straight up boating under the influence, which is illegal and dangerous. At the end of the song, Alan Jackson, the country singer, and Jimmy Buffett just banter back and forth on stage. Like, the song is over and they're like, so this is the conversation between Alan Jackson and Jimmy Buffett, where Alan Jackson admits to basically a boat DUI right in the song. Okay. He says, it's 5 o'clock in Margaritaville. Come to think of it. Yeah, I've heard that. You've been there, haven't you? Yes, sir. I seen your boat there. Oh, I've been to Margaritaville a few times. All right. Well, that's good. I stumbled all the way back. Okay, you just want to make sure you can keep it between the navigational beacons. Bring the booze, I tell you. He admits right there. Wow. He's boating home.
Yeah, he's under the influence. Bad example. Cool. No one even knows, man.
Bro, we got some crazy. We don't even know because we're not listening to the lyrics. Like, if you just listen to the Pina Colada song, you just think it's about pina coladas and people's love for pina coladas.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard the whole thing. It's funny that this should be like the question of the week. I need to know what other songs are.
Listen. A boat Dewey is dark enough.
Jesse's still right. Jesse's like, but he also had a beer in the.
I don't mind someone having a good time, okay, at Margaritaville. But waterway safety is very important to me. As Cameron's a boat owner, you wouldn't like someone out there can't see straight. That's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
It's embarrassing.
All right. Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up, we talk to the Belonging Co., one of our favorite worship outfits. Also, we have your feedback at the end, but stay tuned right now. Emily joins us for Relevant Buzz. You're listening to Good Neighbors. The song is Home. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by Factor. Factor's ready-to-eat meal deliveries take the stress out of meal planning and set you up for success in the new year. You get to skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue, and instead get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. They have over 35 meals to choose from every week, and if you have dietary restrictions like keto or calories or vegan or vegetarian, they have all that. Plus, they have other add-ons and smoothies and stuff. I have been a Factor customer for a while now. Every Monday, my new box shows up, and I'm telling you, it's what I eat. Their chef-prepared meals are ready literally in 2 minutes. Well, right now, Factor has a special deal for Relevant Podcast listeners. You can head over to factormeals.com/relevant50 and use code relevant50 to get 50% off. That's code relevant50 at factormeals.com/relevant50 to get 50% off. Go do it. Well, Relevant has a lot happening this year, and we don't want you to miss a thing. Make sure to sign up for our newsletter right there on the front page at relevantmagazine.com, and we'll send you our top 5 trending stories sent to your inbox every weekday. We'll also send you a weekly podcast newsletter with the latest episodes, some fan extras, and first peeks at the new shows that we're going to be rolling out throughout this year. Make sure to sign up. It's the best way to keep in touch with everything we got going on. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Please welcome to the show our managing editor, Downtown Emily Brown, telling us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week. Hey, Emily.
Hey, y'all.
We got sidetracked with DVDs and prestige television and stuff. So we got to burn through Relevant Buzz. So what do we got this week?
Well, the Grammys are this Sunday, so who's excited?
Very.
Yay.
Yeah.
Did y'all vote? Do you guys have a say?
I do vote.
No? You do vote? Okay.
Sure.
I always vote for the one I know is not going to win. I just always vote for them. I want them to feel like they're a part of it.
Strategy.
Okay, so I'm hearing you didn't vote for Taylor Swift?
Honestly, I only vote for the hip hop stuff.
That's valid. Okay.
Marty, I like that strategy because, like, when you go to vote at an election and there, and there's like all these city councilmen who had their signs up all over town, nothing about their policies. I always go for the rando I've never heard of because I'm like, I like they're scrappy.
Disrupt.
I like they're scrappy. I like they're in this race. I haven't seen one local news thing about this person. I haven't seen their sign in people's yards. I don't even know if they're legally still in the race, but they get my vote. Marty, I like it.
You're a hater guy. You want to throw your vote away, Jesse.
A disruptor is how
it's
I
like
look at
Curb
it.
Your Enthusiasm
Anyway.
where Larry David's like, who are you voting for? I'm voting for the other guy. He's like, we just cancel each other out. Let's not vote. And we just leave. Like, that's the...
We're just really cancel out the
Yeah,
votes.
he's like, are you voting for the other guy?
Right.
Let's just leave and go grab food because we're canceling each other out anyway. So.
Well, I was hoping you guys could help me answer a Grammy question because I was looking at the nominees. There's so many categories, so many specific ones too. Like the fact that there's a difference between Best Pop Solo Album, Best Pop Vocal Album, and Best Pop Dance Album. Kind of crazy. But when we get to Contemporary Christian Music Album, I don't understand this category. Let me read you the nominees for this year. We have Phil Wickham's I Believe, Lauren Daigle's Self-Titled, Blessing Offers My Tribe, DeTruth's Emmanuel, and Lecrae's Church Clothes 4. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why like Phil Wickham and Lecrae have to compete against each other when they sound so different. Can y'all explain that to me?
It's just genre separated, right? It's like a genre.
But it's but they're not in the same genre.
To the world, they are. It's like Jesus genre. They literally
right. That's what I was gonna say. Christian music is the only genre that is categorized by content, not sound. So it's going to be if there was a really, really popular country artist, really popular rap artist, and really popular EDM artist, if it has over like 40% Jesus in it, it's all gonna get thrown in that category.
Yeah,
really.
Which is it's unfortunate.
But they have gospel, so like Mav City is over in gospel, and Tasha Cobb Leonard's in gospel.
So it's
wouldn't
like
it make more
white and
sense to
black.
have Blessing, Okafor? But
black and white. Yeah.
But there's two black people in the pop one, like Lecrae and Blessing.
Well, the thing is, gospel is very specific sounding. It's its own ecosystem, and then it's gospel, and then everything else.
But wouldn't it make more sense that it would be like gospel and urban would be combined, and like put Lecrae over there?
Category. They should.
It would, and I think they tried, but I think early on in Christian rap, as far as from what I understand, early on in Christian rap, which, I mean, you know this, most of the kids that were listening to our music were white youth group kids.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea was it makes more sense because the white kids listen to the Christian rap more than kids in the gospel world listen to it. Now I don't believe that to be true. I believe that Christian rap is transcended. Yeah. So I think if you were to put Christian rap in the gospel category, it would probably fit better than putting it in the CCM category. But then the problem would be for a lot of these legacy acts, our clout is so much higher than theirs that it would, like, there should be multiple genres within Christian music. Like,
agreed.
It has expanded.
Worship,
it's grown.
CCM, gospel, and hip hop are all distinct from each other. Yeah,
it should be split up.
If we're only going to get two categories, I would think CCM and worship being combined, and gospel and hip hop or urban being R&B being combined makes more sense than the way this lineup is with two hip hop artists.
You know,
CCM
back in the day, there
category.
actually was a Christian hit. Because of this issue, there was a Christian hip hop category. Flame actually won a Christian hip hop Grammy. If I'm not,
I remember that because then there was the lawsuit about the song sample and stuff.
Nah, yeah,
That's
and
Martin.
then they got rid of that category. That when the Grammys restructured, they got rid of a lot of categories that weren't really popular, and they cut it.
Real quick, I have a quick solution to this.
I love it
because
I know it's gonna work.
Me too. So call up your friends on the commission and let them know we've cracked this. The problem right now is, you know, in the Christian categories, people are lumped together by the themes of the music, not the genre. Let's throw out genres entirely. The Grammys are now, you have a theme. Any song that is about heartbreak, no matter what the genre, there's heartbreak songs.
So it's all
there
content.
Okay. Songs about money.
Cool.
Songs about money, right? It doesn't matter who's singing it or the genre.
4 categories to choose from, though.
And,
I love the backhand. I love the tongue-in-cheek backhand.
Well, then you throw in a couple of very specific categories. You have the intoxicated boating category this year, and it's forced to, like, every year they announce a couple extremely specific categories.
The overly sunburned category.
Yeah,
twerk category.
These have to be songs. The only ones eligible are about the worst sunburn of adult and we're giving you Grammys.
I live in Orlando and I go to Disney on the weekend category. I know where you're heading with this.
Disney adult Disney fan.
I'm going to Planet, like Adult Planet or Margaritaville and
Adult Planet. I think that's in Tampa.
What was it called? Pleasure Island.
What is
Pleasure Island or something?
Planet?
Well, Disney had this adult only.
Wait.
Disney had an adult only park, right? Wasn't it called like Adult Island?
It was called Pleasure Island, which was a reference from Pinocchio.
It was called what?
Pleasure Island. Yeah.
Which was a reference from Pinocchio. It was where all the sinning and drinking happened. It's Pleasure Island. And they made a nightclub area in the 90s. And now it's gone. It got leveled. And it's now Disney Springs and it's family friendly.
What was happening on Pleasure Island with Disney? Was Disney?
There was a BET club. There was a comedy club.
BET club at Disney.
It was old BET though. It's not new one. It was like uncut 3 a.m. BET. It wasn't.
It was Freaknik
the Parkers.
Disney.
You know what I'm saying?
Freaknik BET.
It was. Yeah.
Why was I not invited to this?
When I was 15, my cousin snuck me into one of those clubs, and I felt way out of my element. I felt so insecure. I had an old Navy shirt on. I don't know what I was doing. I had an American flag. Like, I just didn't know how to dress like an adult. Like, but I was 15 and they snuck me into the club. My cousin Tootsie.
Growing up here, this is like a good youth group kid. You know, you don't go down to Pleasure Island. That's where the sinning happens. And then, like, when I moved back to Orlando, started Relevant. I'm a full grown adult at this point, early 20s. And I remember Jars of Clay was coming through town, and they wanted to hang out. And they're like, "Hey, meet us at there was like a mystery adventure club at Pleasure Island." It was just like a Indiana Jones themed bar. You know what I mean? And I remember walking in there, like I'd never been in here before, and I was thinking, ooh, this is like edgy. There's alcohol.
They drank a beer. They had a beer. Yeah.
They have drinks and coconuts and tiki cups here. This is crazy.
Guys, it's a club haunted house. It was amazing.
Look, we threw one theme out and unlocked all this creative energy among this. If I said, look, like I said, there's going to be the standards. There'll be heartbreak category. There'll be love song. There'll be money. There'll be I don't like working songs. So, you know, all the songs that all the themes people write about anyway.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting this out for my wife, and I'm putting this out for the world. I am Googling Disney Pleasure Island, so if something weird comes up on my screen,
my accountability software
just because
I just got an alert. Yep.
It's going to alert Mike Johnson in the house over there.
Oh, this is crazy.
That's a hard joke right there. And I don't know if many people will get that one.
All right, what else do you have, Emily?
Okay, we've talked a lot about the rise of the nuns over the last few years.
You talking about the ninja nuns?
Yeah, the flying nuns, like the 1960s.
I was talking about the ones from Sister Act 2.
Real problem.
NONES, nuns. They have no faith, no religious affiliation. Nuns.
Oh, got you. Okay, got you. My bad.
Yeah. Sorry, but can I make one joke and then I promise we'll move on? I was watching a clip about like it was on an Instagram scroll, and it was just how crazy like 80s TV was. And it was a clip of Tom Selleck, presumably. I've never really watched Magnum PI, but that's what I'm presuming. And he's walking up to like a mansion. Okay. And or a convent or something. And he's got his gun, you know, you intuited there's bad guys in there. And he's running up there and he sees on a ladder a nun like fixing a gutter. Okay. And he's like sneaking by. And he thinks out loud to himself, wait, nuns don't work on Sunday. And he goes and he shoots the nun. And sure enough, the nun, as the nun's getting shot, turns around and it's a henchman. It is like a bad guy henchman with an Uzi. He was right? Like it was a disguise. What if he was wrong? What if he turned around? I thought about this. Right? He turns around and he's like, nuns don't work on Sunday. He's like, bump, 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 bump. And this old nun falls off the ladder that he just murdered. Right? And then he's like, you know what? I don't know why I assume nuns don't work on Sunday. They work whenever they need the gutter needed fixing.
He would have had a tagline like, keep the Sabbath holy.
Yeah. And think about how that would have changed the trajectory of Magnum PI. And for the rest of the series, he's wanted as this nun murderer.
See you in hell from heaven. He just leaves.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's derailed it.
The rise of the nuns, not nuns on ladders. The rise of the nuns is the increase of people with no religious affiliation in America. Okay, keep going.
Right, yes. They are not being targeted by Magnum PI. But according to a new study, there is something interesting I want to talk about. They are now the largest belief group in they are the second largest belief group in the U.S. behind Christianity. But when Pew talks about Christianity, they're talking about three groups, right? So they're talking about Catholics, the nuns, evangelical Protestants, and mainline Protestants. And we know when you look at those groups, there's obviously distinct differences in that.
Mainline meaning like Unitarians and liturgical, denominations. So if you look at Protestant evangelicals, which would be kind of like the Christianity that most of our audience would be part of, what does the study say? It's now smaller than nuns. Yeah.
Yes, when you break it down like that, it's actually smaller. So mainline, there's 14%, Catholics are 23%, evangelical would be 24%, nuns are 28%. So when you break it down by that, nuns are the biggest,
and which is a huge jump, right? From 10 years ago?
Yeah, 10 years ago, it was 18%. So there's been a 10% increase over 10 years.
Crazy.
Do you think it's because of free housing? Like, hey, I could be a nun and I could live for free anywhere I want. And I'm good.
Yo, I was confused.
Like think of like a priest. Like, hey, I'm not gonna have sex. I'm not gonna do anything bad, and I get to live in a house for free, sponsored by people. Board. Yeah.
It's gonna be a
You
lot
might be
of
onto
nuns.
something there, Marty.
If inflation keeps going the way it's going, there's gonna be a whole lot of nuns pretty
There's
soon.
a lot of people joining the priesthood.
I can't get a house and nobody wants me. I'm gonna be a priest, you know.
But real talk, I mean, was the diagnosis of this issue, the rise of the nuns? Can
you imagine trying to put this clip on video with subtitles? The subtitle would not know what to do with you all talking about Catholic nuns and NONES nuns interchangeably. Just
No,
FYI.
it's really on whoever decided to call the nuns because there's
it's
already nuns.
Terrible name.
We don't need another religious term with the word nun.
But you know, it'd be great if one of these people, because this is, I'm like legitimately curious about what has led to, I'm sure there's a amalgamation of factors, right? But if you were releasing a study, it would have to be called The Habits of the Nuns, right?
Oh my goodness.
By the way, I posted a GIF for you guys.
Master of none.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, that's startling. And we do break that down at the website if y'all want to go learn more about the new study that came out. 10% increase. It's now larger than. Oh, gosh.
We're all watching the clip that Jesse just sent.
Jesse just shared the GIF of the Magnum PI.
And you know
Tom
what?
Selleck is a dreamboat.
I'm sorry.
I've actually seen this before.
Tom Selleck is a dreamboat.
Oh my gosh. The nun is literally on a ladder, the rise of the nuns, and then he shoots her off the ladder. And
He
she,
still
like,
doesn't
spins.
even know if she's a nun until she's dead because she just falls off, and that's the end of that.
All right. What's the last thing you have?
Last thing is we've been big fans of Tobe Nwigwe for a while now. He's been blowing up, especially over the last year. And it was a really pleasant surprise when he showed up on SNL last week with musical guest Justin Timberlake. We've got a clip of their song Sanctified here.
Sing it. Sanctified, rid me of my sins, take and forgive them. Can I get a witness? Ladies and gentlemen, I get down on my knees every night and I pray. Make some noise. Tobe Nwigwe.
Sweats on it, right that I hold it toes just for my protection. Need the Holy Ghost to the resurrection, but I still might beckon angels, my complexion to swoop down your direction and make your connection to me. Yeah, just a bit stronger. I know it's wrong to sit back and conjure a million ways for you to heal the monster that have been postured inside my loins. Yeah, boing, that's what it do. When I see you, I know you see through me and I ain't see through, but you never treat me like I am people. Matter, wow, and a smile. I know I ain't spoke to you like this so wow. I know
He's a beast. He's about to do a concert with Nas with an orchestra.
That's incredible.
I saw.
Like,
Colorado.
dude is just out of here,
Yeah.
bro. Like, and it couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yeah.
Really good. Dude.
I love seeing people like him success. I love seeing people who like, there's some people who, it's chance. Some people, he's the first person that I've ever seen who was like, hey, I'm releasing a song every Friday and we'll see how it goes. He's getting his hair braided, whatever. And now he is where he is. And he carved a lane for a lot of these other artists to do what they're doing by even change the format of releasing a song per week. Like that wasn't really done. So like he is what they call it, the standard, I would say.
He worked for it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't an accident.
No label, no money.
He worked for it. Like I respect it.
Yeah. Love it. Anyway, we were just chilling watching SNL and then boom, there's Tobe. Like
he's the best part of it.
Awesome.
I think he's the best part of the whole song. Like his presence on that song, like, it was the best part of that SNL performance, in my opinion.
It was a very mid episode. So like that song was definitely the highlight of the show for real.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, if you want to watch that, the performance, we have it over at relevantmagazine.com. All right. Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Thanks, Emily. Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every weekday where we're covering faith, culture, and everything in between. Thanks.
See ya.
All right. Stay tuned. Up next, the Belonging Code joins us.
And in my soul, something is stirring now, and I'm not worried. You better get ready to see now. Good people been down for so long, and now it's like the sun is rising.
listening to Mumford & Sons and Pharrell Williams. The song is Good People. Well, Relevant has a lot happening this year, and we don't want you to miss a thing. Make sure to sign up for our newsletter right there on the front page at relevantmagazine.com, and we'll send you our top 5 trending stories sent to your inbox every weekday. We'll also send you a weekly podcast newsletter with the latest episodes, some fan extras, and first peeks at the new shows that we're going to be rolling out throughout this year. Make sure to sign up. It's the best way to keep in touch with everything we got going on. Well, our guest today is The Belonging Co. They're a worship collective based in Nashville who are dropping a brand new worship album called 10 to celebrate their church's 10th anniversary. Group member Andrew Holt joins us to talk about the album and why it's important to see worship as more than music. Here is our conversation with Andrew Holt from The Belonging Co.
So the new album 10 is a reflection on the last decade at The Belonging Co. How have things changed for the church over the years? And also, how have they stayed the same?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the growth. I think that, like, just physically looking at the church would be the obvious place to start. Like, when I started coming, it was, for context, it started in our pastor's, Henry and Alex's basement. They started it from just the heart to serve the community in Nashville of touring musicians and creatives who were gone on a lot of Sundays and couldn't go to church. And so they started this Bible study essentially on Tuesday nights. And it just, God started moving, started growing really fast. And long story short, it became very clear it was supposed to be a church. And so they launched in February of 2014, officially as a church. And first venue was like this little coffee shop. And the first night they met, it was like overflowing. They couldn't even like keep all the people in there and get everyone in the room. So they moved to a second venue. And that's actually where my wife and I started attending, was the second venue. So it was like, I think it was 3 weeks after they started as a church. And when I first came, it was like maybe 200 people, 150 people, 200 people in this little tiny venue in South Nashville on a Tuesday night. And for me, it's like I walked in the door, and I grew up in church. My dad's a pastor. You know, I was one of those kids that every time the doors of the church is open, I was there. I came on staff at the church I grew up at when I was 15 years old. So I'm just a church kid, you know. And I was in college at this point in 2014, and I walk into this little venue. There's 200 people in the room. They're going after God. And I tell people it was like someone just dumped a bucket of water on me. And I had this encounter with God that changed my life. Even in that moment, just like a shift happened for me in my own personal life, where I started to realize I got so caught up in the professionality of what church is, and had done church my whole life, had been around it, a pastor's kid, and it had become slowly, not intentionally, but it had just become all about the wrong things. And I felt, even in that first night at Belonging Co., like I felt God begin to kind of recenter me about what my calling was, who I actually was, my identity, all those core things I started to come back to. And so my wife and I were just dating at the time. We started coming every Tuesday night, and God just started changing our lives. And I started volunteering on the worship team in 2015. And then I came on staff in 2016. And I've been on staff since then as a worship pastor. And so, like, obviously from that little 100, 200 people, it's grown so much since then. We've been in multiple different venues. We now have our own building here in Nashville, which is such a gift, that we opened in 2020. And so I think that's the obvious thing that's changed is, you know, as a church grows, so much has to change to support that growth and to make sure we're serving all those people well. And so there's so much change, but I think it's easy to see change one of two ways. It's easy to see change in like a negative sense of, oh, it's not like it was the first time I came, because the Belonging Co. is nothing like it was the first time I came, physically looking at it, right? It's like there was a terrible PA and no lighting, no LED wall, no kids ministry, name the things, or you can look at it in the sense of, man, God's moving and this has changed and I've been able to be a part of it. And I think that's the perspective I'm feeling currently, is like, what a gift that I've been able to be a part of this. And now all of these people are brought into it as well. And so I think that change in my perspective is such a good thing, an amazing thing. But I would say the one thing that hasn't changed is this sense of we always are going after the presence of God. We always make Jesus the main thing. We have this mandate, and it says presence over presentation, intimacy over industry, people over position, encounter over entertainment, and Jesus over everything. Like, that's what we've always been about from day one, is Jesus is more important than everything. He is the one that's lifted up in this place. And I can say, since the first day I came, that first night, that's what has impacted me the most, is that no matter what physically is happening in the room, our pastors and our leadership are people who are going to put Jesus as the main thing. And I've never seen them not do that in every setting, whether it's a big meeting with thousands of people or a staff meeting with a couple of us in the room. That is always the mandate and the priority. And we're always going to pursue the presence of God. And so even though physically this has changed so much, and we've been able to release records and albums have come out and buildings have been built, it's still at the core of who we are. We're just people who love Jesus. We love lifting up his name, and we love seeing his presence poured out in a room full of people.
Yeah, I love the intentionality that you put into worship. I am curious, as a worship leader, what does worship mean to you?
I think it's easy in our culture, church culture, to make worship all about music. And, and I fully believe, obviously, I'm a worship pastor, worship songwriter, worship leader. So I'm all about music and worship. And that's how I often connect with God and worship him, is through music. But I think at its core, if you simplify even more than that, worship is just a posture of our hearts. And so worship for me is this posture of my heart that recognizes how small I am and how great he is and how beautiful that is. And it's this posture that says, you have my full attention, you have my full affection, you have all my love. And when we're truly in like the truest form of worship, it's when our heart is postured in that place of saying, God, you have all of me, you have all my love, you have all my praise, you have all my song, you have my shout, you have my dance. And I think that's why music and worship is so important, because it creates this opportunity for us to get into that posture, right? It creates this opportunity for us to say, it gives language, it gives lyric, it gives melody, to get our hearts into that place, to get our spirits into that place of saying, God, you're all that matters, and you're the one that's worthy, and you're the one that's holy. And I recognize that in this moment and give you my love and my worship. And so, yes, so often that's through a song, but more than anything, it's the posture of our hearts. And even as a worship leader, like, that's something that I come back to all the time. Like, I love that you said that about our worship services, because we really don't view a set or a time slot as, well, we just need to fill this time, right? We just need to set up the message and we need to make people feel welcome in the room. Like, we really view that slot of time as a moment, as an opportunity to meet with God. And if you really think about that, if you really think about what a massive thing that is we're creating a moment for a room full of people to meet with the King of the universe, the King of Kings, and to have a encounter with him. How could you not take that seriously and make it intentional and do everything you can to pray into that? We're always praying, God, what do you want us to sing this week? What do you want us to lead? I'm sitting in this room right now where we pray before service every week with our team. And it's 5 minutes before we're about to go on the platform. Even in that moment, saying, God, we've rehearsed, we've picked a set list, we've done everything we can to prepare for this moment. But if you've got something different, we're wide open. We're listening, and you lead the way and we'll follow you. And that's always our prayer. That's always our posture. So, and I think that's why you feel that. And, in the moment is that we're literally not just singing the set list or getting through, a chorus and a bridge. We're actually calling on heaven to come and lifting up an like a real praise to him. And so it's such a crazy thing when you actually start to think about it, right? Like, we're worshiping Jesus, the King of Kings, and he's here in this room. Like, if we really believe that, we really have to take it seriously.
I like that you point out that worship goes beyond just singing songs. Other than music, what are ways that you try to cultivate worship in your own life?
This past year and a half, 2 years, I've really gotten disciplined with my life as far as the time of my day and how I spend it. And like I said, I married my wife in 2015. Her name's Sarah, and we have 2 little girls. Olive turns 5 next week, and Lennon is 2. And so if anyone listening has kids, you fully understand that life can just become I'm making it through, right? I'm just going to make it through this day and pray that it all happens. And so I've found myself the past couple of years, really feeling this need to get disciplined with my time. And so for me, that looks like waking up really early. I wake up at 4:20, 4:30 every morning. I try to work out, exercise, get my mind focused. But a big part of that time for me is having communion with God, reading his word, just focusing my mind and spending some moments in his presence, and starting my day from that place. Even what I said a minute ago, that posture of how do I posture my heart to be in a place of worship outside of a song or music? It's really just a simple thing of saying, God, I recognize that today I could make one or two choices. One, I could do it on my own and I could do my best to make this day amazing, or I could invite you to be the highest and most important thing in this day. And what place and time to do that than the first part of the day. And so I block out just a couple hours in the morning before the girls wake up and before my house is chaos and I'm making yogurt and cereal and whatever. I choose to posture my heart in that place of, God, today's your day and you have my attention, you have my love, and I invite you to be in part of everything. And that's made such a massive difference for me, because before that it was I'd set the alarm the moment I have to get up to start the day rolling and then just jump right into it, which I feel a lot of people probably do. And then I get to the end of the day and I found out, I just look back at my day and I didn't spend any time meeting with God. I didn't spend any time communing with him because my day just jumped in. And I've just sensed such a massive difference in my life on every level doing that. And so that's one way I do it for sure.
That was The Belonging Co. Make sure to check out their new album, 10. It releases today, wherever you get your music. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback. You're listening to San Cisco and Nicholas Albrook. The song is Summer Days. I bet those of you up north are wishing for those right now. Today's show is brought to you in part by The Chosen. Season 4 of The Chosen is coming to theaters nationwide on February 1st, and this season has everything. Clashing kingdoms, rival rulers, and when they're threatened by the reality of Jesus' growing influence, religious leaders do the unthinkable, choose to ally themselves with the Romans. As the seeds of betrayal are planted in opposition to Jesus' message turns violent, he's left with no alternative but to demand his followers rise up. So get ready, Relevant Podcast listeners. February 1st is the big release day. Go get your tickets now at thechosenriseup.com. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week, Marty was talking about being a new dad and doing the overnight shift, and then Derek said it gets worse. Marty was tired, and Derek said, "Well, once you're not tired anymore, they start peeing on everything." So we thought, poor Marty needs some parenting advice. So we asked you guys for your best parenting advice. You hit us up. There's a lot, and here's some of our favorites.
I like Aaron. Aaron is very practical. He says if they're cranky, they may not have gotten enough sleep or overtired from too much sleep or gas or teething. Either way, do your best to figure out exactly how much sleep they need. Then by the time you do, they'll hit a new milestone and you'll have to start over. And yes, it's true.
Yeah, welcome to your new life, Marty.
My go for it, Jesse. Go.
I was going to say Adam Davis's is oddly specific.
Yes.
And I can't help but think that this has happened to him on multiple occasions. Don't send an angry toddler to his room first without verifying there is not an open bottle of baby powder. It won't be enough to clean up the inevitable mess, and it'll take months for the smell to go away. Again, it doesn't sound like that happened to him just one time.
Yeah.
He
puts his toddler in his room as punishment, and the kid goes in there and starts shaking the baby powder everywhere just to get back at him. Yeah, exactly.
I'll show you, Dad.
It's brilliant.
I like this one. This is oddly this is terrible advice, I feel like, but the beginning is great, and then it takes an odd turn. You ready? Sleep when the baby sleeps. Eat when the baby eats. And then it starts to get a little weirder. Clean when the baby cleans. Gets a little weirder. Watch TV when the baby watches TV. And the weirdest part, smoke when the baby smokes.
Oh, that's crazy.
My baby and me, we don't smoke, but yeah, okay, cool. I'll take that.
Gosh, this is so weird.
Thanks,
hey,
Ben.
it's 2024.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what's going on.
He's like, smoke a cigar when your baby smokes a cigar. Oh, okay.
2024, bro.
Boss baby. Yeah.
Boss baby.
Right, boss baby.
Let's say you have a boss baby. Get your TPS reports done.
Let's say Alec Baldwin is the voice of your child.
All right. Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Marty, you're welcome. I'm sure all of this advice will
very helpful.
help your family thrive.
Navigate.
Okay, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week.
We were talking about it at the beginning of the show. Music that, like songs that are surprisingly dark. They sound happy. They sound, pop. They're pop hits or whatever. But then when you actually look at the lyrics, they are very different. The content, it's very different content than you would have expected. How's that?
Can I add one quick wrinkle to that too? In addition to this, this would be too confusing to probably post as a tweet, but if you're listening and want to also do randomly dark sitcom moments you happen to remember, like the ones that Cameron mentioned with the husband or Magnum PI accidentally murdering a nun doing basic gutter work. I want to see those too.
Just getting a leaf out.
That's the best gutter guard commercial you could have.
Save a nun's life. Get gutter guard. Yeah.
That's funny. If we see a nun working any job on Sunday,
just pull the ladder.
Obviously, it's time to open fire. Yeah.
Shoot it on site. All right. Hit us up on X at Relevant Podcast, and we'll read our favorites or play them on next week's show. There you go. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Andrew Holt from the Belonging Co. for joining us today. Make sure to check out their brand new worship album, 10. It drops today, wherever you get your music. Also, make sure to check out the new issue of Relevant. Issue 114 is out now. It features a great conversation with Brooke Lidgerwood on the cover, as well as Need to Breathe, Mike Todd, Rainn Wilson, so much more. You can check it out for free. You can read it for free at relevantmagazine.com. Just click on the magazine tab. It's presented for free thanks to our sponsor, The Covenant. And if you want the beautifully designed enhanced edition, make sure to get Relevant Plus. You get not only the better magazine experience, you get an ad-free experience on the website and an ad-free version of this podcast as well. All the info is right there at relevantmagazine.com. Plans start as low as $2.50 a month. It's the best way to experience our content. All right, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
Derek Marner.
And I'm Marty.
All right, we'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Nuns don't work on Sundays.
Relevant Podcast Network.